Kathy, if you just ran an Olympic 100-meter final and your hamstrings feel like overcooked brisket, who are you calling?
Don, this guy, immediately. No foam roller, no inspirational quote, just Don.
Okay, our guest has been personal medical pro for Ashton-Eaton and his wife Bree at the Summer Olympic Games and has served as lead massage therapist for the USA Track and Field Outdoor Olympic Trials.
Yeah. So when sprinters are chasing hundreds and jumpers are chasing centimeters, you better have the right massage therapist on your team.
Yeah, so today we're talking about what elite track and field athletes actually need from bodywork, what recovery looks like when the world is watching, and why massage at that level is less spa music and more pit crew at a Formula One race.
That's right. On your marks, get set. This is the pitch.
What happens when a chiropractor and a physical therapist get together to make a health and wellness podcast?
But chiropractors and physical therapists don't like each other.
Oh, think again.
I'm Dr. Kathy Lynch, physical therapist who likes to help people move and get stronger.
I'm Dr. Jason Young, an evidence-based chiropractor who uses humor just as much as adjustments to help people get better.
Welcome to the Pitch Podcast.
Remember, there's no I in pitch. Okie dokie. Welcome back to the Pitch Podcast. I'm Dr. Jason Young.
And I'm Dr. Kathy Lynch.
And this is the Pitch Podcast still. Yeah. After the introductions, we just didn't know where to go with that. So, no, podcast still kicking butt. Like, subscribe, all those things. Share it with a friend, somebody who really, really needs this information. I'm just kind of breezing through that because I want to get right to the intro for our guest.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Hit it, Kathy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could talk to this guy for hours, but we only got an hour here. So I'm really excited to have Don here on the podcast. I've been honored to work with Don at several events. Couple was here's just a couple that he has run as a massage therapist. He's done 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio, 2016 World Athletic Indoor Championships. Most recently, I got to work with him in this one, was the 2021 World Athletics Outdoor Championships. He's also been in the past, he's kind of retired from this now, but massage team captain for 16 years or so with Nike Prefontaine.
As a captain, yeah, I've been with the meet like 21 years.
Yeah,
oh, that's
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
but here's the best part. When he sent me over his bio so he could kind of dial this down for me, he said the most fulfilling role he's had in his life, though, was high school basketball and soccer coach.
Yep.
So
nice.
We have that in common. We'll definitely get to that.
Cool.
But I really want to start with kind of like how your journey started in massage and then how you got into sports massage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of funny, and I don't think you know this, but I was actually in chiropractic college.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was up in. So I figured that out real quick. Figured that out. It was bad timing. Relatively young son with some genetic disorder problems at home. I'm trying to be in Portland in chiropractic college with my wife and son at home, and it's just like, this is not where I belong.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And I wasn't there very long, and I figured it out, and I'm like, okay, I'm racking up a lot of debt, hanging out, trying to figure this out. Let's just put this on pause. But one of my classmates up there was a sports massage therapist. We'd been chatting, and he's telling me about what he does, and I'm like, that actually sounds like what I'm interested in doing. I have background in exercise physiology at Oregon State.
Okay.
Go Beavs.
So it's always about human performance. And I'm like, well, sports massage is like, if I can get in with like Olympians, that's going to be like the thing. And I'm like, right there. And so I was really excited about that possibility. And so dropped out of chiropractic college, moved home, called the massage school up in Portland. It's the only accredited one in Oregon at the time. And I'm like, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. Can I come visit? And they're like, sure. So I got to visit. I liked it. They were going to let me accelerate through, which was perfect because right now in my life, I don't want to be gone a lot. And I got like commute actually, which is weird from Albany to Portland. But so anyway, that's kind of how I landed in it. Cool. And I just got really, really lucky there that I happen to have who I think is like one of the best massage instructors in the world. I've had lots of continuing ed. So I've seen a lot of people try to teach. He happened to be at the school, gave me my foundation.
Drop a name. Who are we talking about? John Hart.
And he is brilliant. I think he's retired now, but I've had a lot of really good people in my life, but he really gave me the foundation for what I needed to then move on and end up where I'm at.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but let me give you a piece of history that you did know. I used to work for your wife.
I do.
Yeah.
She hired him when he was an undergrad.
this is mind blowing.
Yeah.
To do
so
what?
we go.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is before I was a chiropractor. This was it was 2000, I think. Pretty sure.
Probably.
I'd just been fired from a job. The only job I'd ever been fired from. It was purely political.
Okay, this will be another episode.
Yeah. There's a guy out there named Wendell, and if you're listening, Wendell, you're the guy who got me fired. You're a jerk. Anyway.
He remembers.
Yeah. Wendell doesn't have a podcast, so I can say whatever I want. Yeah. Hit me in the comments, Wendell. It's engagement farming now. No, but I used to work for OSU Credit Union.
Yep.
And she was the branch manager, and so Kim was my boss. She was an awesome boss.
She still has nice things to say about you.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, clearly we didn't work together long enough. So.
This is a full circle.
It is
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I remember your kids when they were just teeny tiny, and now they're all full-grown adults.
Full-grown, but still very tiny people. They have
That's
me
Kim's
as a
fault.
dad, and
That's Kim's fault.
Not even 5 feet tall as a mom. They were doomed.
They were.
Yep.
No, but Butzner family is a great family, so I can attest to that. So
I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, what did your early career look like?
So I, from the get-go, just decided I was going out on my own. Didn't want to work for anybody else. Kind of knew I had a vision of what I wanted my space to look like, the client base I wanted to work with. Back then, they had this thing called the Yellow Pages, which is it was the old form of Google, where there were phones to look things up. So you would actually advertise your business in these Yellow Pages, and people could look for massage therapy in there. And if you did back then, everything was kind of woo-woo spa oriented. Right? So I was like, well, let's create a logo that looks like I'm not woo-woo. I want to be orthopedic in nature. So I put that in there, and that was brilliant.
Wow.
Because nobody else had something like that. And people were looking for it. And they're like, oh, I saw your Yellow Page ad. And so I got busy faster than normal.
Yeah.
So that was really lucky. And like I said, this guy, John Hart, back in the massage school, had taught me how to actually do stuff for people that was effective orthopedically.
Wow.
And so it was a lot of orthopedic work with weekend warrior type people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I used a lot of muscle energy technique back then, still do now.
Yeah.
And that is kind of what got me launched into the sports side of it.
Okay.
There was a guy in Eugene.
So we know what muscle energy technique is.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
But can you explain that to people? And also, real quick, would you recommend that a new practitioner today get right into the Yellow Pages?
Yes, for sure. They're cheaper than they used to be. Yeah. If you can find some, definitely get in them. Yeah.
So what's muscle energy technique?
If you've got a muscle that is neurologically tight for some reason, there's all sorts of ways to approach that in terms of getting it to loosen up. One of them is to put it on a gentle stretch and then have the person isometrically contract against that, which means that they are held static while they do a contraction that gets ideally just that muscle that's being stretched that is tight. We think in theory, as the muscle is tight, when you fire it, the tight fibers are going to be the ones that fire first as a protective mechanism. You hold that firing for about 6 to 8 seconds. It sort of wears out the energy that's in that muscle right there, changes how it's responding neurologically, and you can stretch it safer, farther, and gain range of motion in areas that are restricted.
Yeah.
And you're talking actual energy, not crystal energy.
Right. But for my daughter's sake,
yes,
it helps if you wave some selenite.
That's right. Yeah.
Same time.
So, I mean, the inside joke here is his daughter has a great rock and mineral shop in the Albany Heritage Mall. So head on over there. What's the name of the shop?
KE Crystals.
Katie Crystals, yeah. And I actually have a few fine pieces in my clinic from it. So, yes.
So
yes, I guess
there
she's an unofficial sponsor of the show.
She's happy to be that.
Yeah.
Or not, maybe. She's got some pieces in my clinic too.
Sweet.
She really wants me to use some gua sha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them, and I don't.
Yeah.
I use Raston and and tools instead. But so anyway, that's the idea. So muscle energy technique wasn't utilized by a lot of people back then, but certainly was successful for me, and I could really make a difference for people because I think if you can work at a neurological point first instead of just beating stuff up,
right?
Get the body to help you make the changes.
Yes.
I know that's what you guys do.
Yeah.
I just pound down the high spots.
Yeah, if it's
pretty
tight,
simple.
rub it.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Yeah, that's
And thrust we trust.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. Elbows are your friend. Anyway, so that muscle energy technique stuff actually was what got me lucky enough to get into sports at the level I was at. Because there's a guy in Eugene named Chris Wetstein who was teaching a class one weekend, and one of my classmates from Portland called and said, "Hey, there's this guy teaching a class. You want to go?" I'm like, "Oh, sure." So we get down there, and it's a really good class, super impressive. But I already know everything he's teaching, so I ended up just helping him with this. And it turns out at the time he was Marion Jones's massage therapist. He was also like Srisha Aguila, who is a pole vaulter, and some of the biggest names in track and field at the time. He was the team captain for Prefontaine class.
Nice.
And he's like, "Hey, you need to come work with us at this event." And so I flat out just got lucky. So when I launched, it was right into that elite level.
Wow. You were lucky and good, though.
Yeah, I guess in that sense that it's sort of earned, but lucky to find him.
Yeah.
Like what do they say? Like luck is when preparation meets opportunity, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, so yeah, you were lucky, but if you hadn't done all the stuff leading up to it,
John Hart
you're not the
hadn't
guy.
been there.
Right.
So anyway, so when I launched, it was like right up to that level.
Wow.
Which was pretty cool.
You're thrown into the fire.
And then my first event, Marion Jones, is on my table. I'm just like,
Wow.
what is going on with my?
So now tell us about imposter syndrome.
Right?
Yeah. Wow. What does that feel like? You're like, okay, this is Marion Jones. I'm gonna pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Right. There was some of that.
Yeah.
Because it's really real. Because especially when it comes to working in sports. Because we work with Oregon State, and so then you see these people, and like I remember feeling like, oh, I better not screw this up.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Actually, at first they just gave me a bunch of people that were about to medically retire. Because they were like, if this guy's going to kill somebody,
these are the ones.
Yeah, we can
afford them.
Yeah, we don't want him killing anybody important. So
don't send the quarterback over to that guy.
Yeah. So I mean, but take us through that. Like when you first, when that door opened up, how did you like mentally rise to that moment?
I kind of just decided to go with what I knew and what had been working for me. I'd done a little bit of sports stuff here and there, certainly not that level. And but it turns out back then, a lot of the people that were in that arena with me also hadn't done a lot of that level.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I had Chris there to be a mentor.
Okay.
Right. And so he was just like, first of all, act like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And so that lesson,
never let him see you sweat.
Don't ask me questions while you're working on that athlete.
Yeah.
Because they do not need that lack of confidence around them at the time. They need to trust what you're doing. And they have a reason that they can.
Yeah.
Is basically what he told me.
Yeah.
Like, you know enough about what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't know something, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of stuck with the muscle energy technique stuff to, they come in, I do a quick orthopedic assessment. Check their balance and whatever, and like do some of that, and then just sort of shake it out. Right.
Yeah.
And I learned really quickly there kind of how to interact with the nervous system to make it so that I felt like it was ready to go. Right. And that's really because at that event, we're pre-event massage. Right?
Yeah.
It is these guys are about to go compete in a really important meet. If there's a problem that I'm finding, they're in trouble anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just don't create a problem.
Right.
Yep.
And if there is one, they're not going to race well anyway.
Right.
But anyway, other than that, get them ready to go.
Yeah.
Like get the nervous system talking to the muscles. Everything's firing fast, and get them out of there. Don't take a lot of time.
Right.
And then the biggest part of that job is when they're done, they come back for what we call a flush.
Yeah.
They want to get things cleaned out. They've just blown through all those tissues. They've turned those hamstrings into overcooked brisket. And we need to clean it up so that they can recover faster, and then they can train again and get ready for the next event the next weekend.
Yeah, that's when you might tell them you found a problem. You don't tell them that before they're going and race.
Yeah, P.S.
Often, there have been a couple of times where I have a relationship with an athlete already, and I'm like, I don't like how this feels. And fortunately, I also know a lot of the coaches, and so I can say, sometimes I have the luxury of working with them a day or two before the meet.
Yeah.
And so I can say, listen, when you go to practice, watch for this. If you feel this when you're ramping up to like 80%, if you feel this at all, shut it down. Like, I'm worried about this. If you don't, great, go for it. When you kind of go hard, it's going to blow out the system. You're going to blow out the carbon, basically, and you're going to be good, and you'll feel it.
Yeah.
But if you get a little bit of feedback, come back. Like, shut it down right there. Come back. We'll look at it again. Might be able to do a little extra stuff, throw some KT tape on it or diamond tape or something, and then test it again. But most of the time, you're hoping you don't find that.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
Yeah.
yep, you're good.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Let's
Your nervous
go.
system's fine.
Yeah.
Work a lot with chiropractors in that realm where I collaborate with them, and I'll do some of my work to get things ready to go. You've probably seen me do my ridiculous stretch thing that I do, where I strap people down and we're going 100 miles an hour.
I love it.
Get done with that, and I send them right over the chiropractic table, and they do adjustments at the spinal level where those nerve roots are feeding to those muscles that are going to be used the most, not because they need the adjustment for alignment, because they want to wake up the nerves.
Yeah.
And a chiropractic adjustment at that level is just brilliant for that. Really gets them firing. And so they come out of the blocks and they are cooking. They're smoking.
Let me explain the stage. This is kind of how it works at these events. Is there's a big medical tent, and what was great for me is we're all kind of there standing by our tables, and athletes will filter in, and a lot of them, they start with Don, and so if I have downtime, I get to watch Don treat these athletes, and it's so amazing. So will you talk about that technique you were just talking about, where you strap them down?
Yeah, sure. So
what's happening there?
For the geeks
great.
out there that know,
remember, this is a family show,
right? there are straps involved.
Yeah.
I guess my comparison would be rapid active isolated stretching.
Okay.
So for those of who aren't geeks out there that don't, if there's this concept called reciprocal inhibition. If I flex my bicep here, my tricep kind of shuts down.
Yeah.
So if you're not watching, Don has a very large bicep.
He does.
And you just missed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if you are watching, we'll just pause here for a second so that you can rewind it real quick and see that again. Okay, continue.
Okay, so we take advantage of that idea of it. And so if you imagine an athlete laying on their back on a massage table, and say I'm going to work on their right leg on a hamstring stretch. And if you're laying on your back and I'm going to do a hamstring stretch, I might lift up your whole leg.
Okay.
Right. And so the hamstring on the backside of the leg is stretching. If you at the same time fire your hip flexors or your quads, both, and you help pull that leg farther up, neurologically, it inhibits the hamstring. It can let me stretch you farther safely.
Yeah.
So if we do this rapidly, and I do like 10 stretches in about 5 seconds.
It is fast.
We are flying. I'm going fast enough that I literally have to have the other leg strapped down in 2 spots on the table so they don't go flying off the table.
Yeah.
And sometimes somebody holding the table so it doesn't go flying. But they're kicking at the same time I'm lifting.
Yeah.
And what we're doing there is not really stretching the hamstring. Yes, we are stretching the hamstring, but that's not the point of this.
Right.
The point of this is to warm up the joint capsule.
Okay.
And get more range of motion in that joint capsule so that it is right then neurologically ready to allow that range of motion and the nervous system firing into that whole system. And for instance, with a hurdler, if I'm going to work with a hurdler and do this, I will not do this for them for the first time before an event.
Right.
Because if they haven't had me do this, they will run into the first hurdle.
Yeah.
Because they come out of the blocks so much faster that they're not
the
ready.
Timing's just going to be off.
It's off. And so I worked a lot with Aries Merritt, who's the world record holder currently in the 110 hurdles. And he loved this technique because it really helped him a lot with that. And so we had chances to work ahead of time and he knew what his body would feel like and he'd be ready for that. But it's just really fun to be able to help these athletes be just that much, because like you said, they're chasing sometimes thousandths of a second.
Yeah.
This might don't make that difference.
Yeah. And that technique also takes coordination from the athlete to be able to fire their quad.
If they don't,
while you're stretching,
I'm going to tear their hamstring.
Yes,
right. So like, I also won't work with somebody who hasn't got that skill.
Right.
And so, and I have to feel it on every single stretch. I'm paying attention really closely every time I bring that leg up. Like, and if they don't, you probably hear me. I'm like fire, and I'm like tapping them at the same time because I don't want to hurt them.
No,
but the potential is there if they're not doing their job right. But if they're doing their job right and I'm doing mine right. Really good results.
Yeah.
So, and I think another aspect of this is you're not just working on hamstrings and joint capsules. You're also working on like what's between the ears. Athletes are weird. They're weird. They're psychotic. They're obsessive.
Superstitious.
They're superstitious. They're anxious. Yeah, they're anxious, and so it's one of those things where I think even like if you're a top level athlete and you're looking at another top level athlete and they're working with a massage therapist and you're not, that is enough of an edge to maybe get that last little bit of performance out. And so I think it's
really mess up the other guy.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing.
I don't have the magnetic bracelet. Yeah, I'm not going to
absolutely.
Win.
And that's totally the way they are.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember when I was I was a chiropractic student, and we got to go out to Seaside, big volleyball tournament out there.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I did that, and I was like, this is how I want my career to be. I just want to be treating people on the beach. Yeah, that's not how it turned out.
Shoot.
Yeah,
so close.
Yeah, so close. But man, you go and you'd adjust somebody, and we're chiropractic students, so we don't know a lot, right? And so, but you work on somebody and maybe do a little stretch or something like that. They go out and they'd win a match, and they come back and they're like, whatever you just did, do it again 2 times now.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And okay. But I mean, you run into that stuff, right? Where people get really particular. Is there ever any pressure that you won't be able to show up in that way for the athlete when they need it?
Yeah. Oh. I'll tell you that was a lot of pressure when I was traveling with Ashton.
I bet.
Right. So there's pressure also, like at these one-off events like Prefontaine. Like, I see these athletes once a year. Right. They come to this event. That's it. Right. With Ashton Bree, 2 years traveling the world with them.
Wow.
Prepping for the Olympics. And everything was about these guys got to be ready for the Olympics. And the pressure was on. I'll tell you. That was well, when the coach called me initially to say, hey, we are interested in talking to you about doing this, he said to me, the goal is 2 gold medals, and anything less than that will be considered failure. Oh my God. And I was like, that's pretty lofty. He's like,
cool. I mean, cool.
Why would he said, why would we do anything different?
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I'm like, well, that could go to anything in life, actually. Right. But when the pressure is that, when you have to be the best in the world at this moment. Yeah. And if you're not, we're going to consider everything we've done failure. Like, man, that's heavy.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of pressure. And I did not want to screw up. And Bree didn't win gold. So maybe I screwed up.
Yeah, that's the other thing that the coach actually wanted us to have you on. And he wanted us to talk to you about that. Yeah.
He's written letters.
Raul, have you got him online? Is he dialed in? I think so. No.
I'm gonna go.
No, we would never do that to you.
Actually, I think Harry's okay with me.
Okay.
There was a lot to it.
Yeah.
But she did walk away with a medal.
Yes.
It wasn't a
sweet.
Yeah. It was only a partial complete.
Maybe she would have ran away with the medal. It would have been a gold one. She walked.
She walked.
No, just kidding.
You can catch that.
No.
I mean, 3rd best in the entire world is still pretty darn good.
That's very good.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's still pretty darn good.
It's really something.
Yeah.
What's funny is those athletes at that level. Yeah. We'd go to meets just for like, they wouldn't do the entire decathlon or heptathlon in every meet. You can't, right? But so we would practice on parts of it.
Okay.
But people expected them to break their own personal bests every time. Right? Like if they did a multi-event meet, like they expected Ashton to break the world record every time. It's like, can you imagine that? That pressure? Like you can't have your very best day every single day. That doesn't happen.
That's like track and field culture though. You know, like my son, he started throwing last year. And so the first couple of meets he went to, it's like, oh yeah, PR. Oh, this person got PR. And then halfway through the season, it's like, how'd it go? He's like, I did all right.
I didn't get a PR.
Yeah, he didn't get a PR. And it's like, bro, you did really, really good.
Yeah, you're not doing that every time.
Yeah, you can't do that every time.
Yeah,
it's just the culture.
Fans were there to see that. That's what
because they're there that one time, right?
Sometimes, and that's just like people just like, well, he's going to break the world record because he's out there again.
Yeah,
good Lord.
This is that guy, his world record guy.
Yeah,
it's what he does.
Right.
He just breaks world records.
Just keep doing it
all the time,
every meet.
So how'd you prep for that kind of pressure? And
it was really great having the coach around. Okay. I basically lived with him for a couple of years.
Okay.
And so, my experience from a coaching standpoint was high school level. And it was at South Albany High School. And I love South Albany High School. But to be honest,
let's go Redhawks.
They are not the dominant team typically.
No. I wish they were. I really do.
There were
kids.
moments.
Great kids.
No, they are. I agree. They are fantastic kids. That really was the most rewarding thing in my life. But other than family. But the expectations weren't world records and medals. And so but I also did understand coaching a little bit. And I understood pressure. Even with coaching, like you want your kids to do well.
Right.
And so you're nervous. And so I just like talked with Harry about, okay, how do we approach these things? And his whole thing was like, from the time I started in October, 2 years before the Olympics, like every single night was panic about what's going to get in the way, mostly injury wise, to mess up getting to the Olympics.
Right.
And he was thinking about that 2 years ahead.
Yeah.
So kind of changed the focus from like we have to perform at this level every time to we just need to be really smart about what's going on with these bodies. Pay attention to what's happening. And like we understood we don't have to break world records every time. There's a progression, right? You've got going on where you're planning all of this towards peaking at the right time. And so we just sort of took it from that approach. And instead of focusing on the pressure, we just focus on what's the job today.
Yeah.
And the pressure we can let the fans worry about.
Yeah.
And the athletes were really good at that.
Yeah.
Most of them are at that level.
They have to be, right?
Yeah. I noticed like at the collegiate level, it's not quite like that.
Yeah.
They're not quite there yet. But you know, the ones that are moving on past college level stuff, you can start to see that develop where they're like, oh, I don't have to win every single time. I don't have to break my personal best every single time.
So can you jump into coach mode? And is there like a real world application for that? Because I mean, we all three of us have coached kids a lot, and I think that's one of the best things is like you learn some real good real world lessons. And so, like, what can the average person learn from that? Because I mean, I'm not going to be an elite track athlete. It's a little late for me to get started.
Seriously, thinking you were my next travel.
Yeah, no,
Get on the road. I know you can stretch with the best of them.
I can stretch better than the best of them.
Yeah, like world record.
I don't know if I can stretch with them. Well, like maybe on an off day.
Insecure about themselves.
Exactly. So, but like, how does that translate into real world where, you know, I think people maybe beat themselves up or they have some of those expectations and and how do you beat that?
That's just, I mean, realizing that life isn't, like we said before, you're not going to have your best day every single day. It's just not possible. So I like to recommend people offer themselves some grace.
Yeah.
Right? Like just take a breath. You're probably okay. Did anybody die?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Right.
No. Right?
And if somebody did, was it very many people?
Right?
It wasn't a lot.
And they're not complaining about it now.
No, they're at rest.
Yeah, I you know, it helped me a little bit because initially going into that, I was like, pretty uptight. You know, I remember I showed up the first day and we were gonna do some hill work with them and I meet them in the parking lot and I'm like grabbing their bags and all this stuff and Ashton's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, you can't carry your bag." He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "We got to save your energy for this." He's just like, It's like, dude, take a breath. You're fine.
I am an athlete. I can carry a bag.
So, anyway, it's just, I think understanding that, you know, not every day is your best day and that's okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's kind of like rehab, right?
Yeah.
You're going to, you're going to have some really good days, but there's also going to be some deep valleys that you got to dig yourself back out of. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, do we have some good stories that you want to share from the Olympics?
Yeah, something juicy.
Yeah.
Well, there was one pretty funny moment at the Olympics. So the Olympics it's interesting. The Olympics were a great experience. I'm so thankful.
This was Rio?
This was Rio.
Okay.
I was there with Team USA with Ashton and Team Canada with Brianna, who is his wife. She's a heptathlete. I was also working with a couple athletes from Estonia.
Okay.
But primarily, I mean, they were my responsibility, those two. I was staying in a little compound that Canada had reserved near the Olympic Village, which was very convenient because if I had been staying where the U.S. was going to put me, it was like 3 hours away. So anyway, but the crowds at an Olympics are not the same as the crowds at a World Championship.
Okay.
The crowds that go to a World Championships are there because they are into that sport.
Yeah, they know track and field.
Track and field. The crowds at an Olympics are there because it's an Olympics. And you get a ticket.
It's just a bunch of drunks.
Mostly. And anyway, but so I actually prefer to go to a World Championships and Olympics. But we were at the Olympics, and one of the problems at an Olympics is getting credentials because they are few and far between.
Sure.
So anyway, that ended up being a problem. At one point, the coach and I had to figure out how to get into the stadium one day when we weren't credentialed to be in there that day because USA didn't have enough credentials that we got one, but it was Ashton's most important day. So we had been kind of working in between the practice track, which was primarily the track right behind the stadium. You had to go into the stadium to get to, but there's another one where they do the throws. discus and javelin because you can't do that at the practice track.
Right.
You'll kill somebody.
Yes.
I was over there. We got onto the bus real quick, kind of hiding our credentials from the day before that weren't valid anymore, but looked similar, and got driven in. So that was good. But the best thing, there are what's called the combined events rest area place for multi-event athletes. Okay. When they're in competition, they're going to do 5 meets or 5 competitions in a day, or 4 if you're a heptathlete or whatever. And they let you stay at the stadium in a room, typically underneath, where you rest in between your events, which is very handy. So when we got the tour of the stadium before everything started, the coach, Harry, and I busted away from the tour to go down and find that room. We weren't supposed to do that, but we needed to scope this out. Yeah. So we get down there, we find the room. We actually took some tape and marked off the areas we wanted. We're claiming our spots down there. And then we hustle back up the way we had gone down to get back with the tour of the stadium, and then that was it. So then fast forward to the first day of the heptathlon where Bree's competing. We're down in the combined events rest area getting ready for the first event, which is the 100-meter hurdles. And they gather the girls and they take them up to the call room area where they're going to get together and then go out on the track. And Harry and I are looking at each other and we're like, we don't know how to get up to the stadium. We didn't bother to scope out how to get up into the stands where we needed to be. So we leave the room and we just start walking underneath. And we kind of just decided we're going to do the thing where you look like you know what you're doing.
Yes.
Because people kind of leave you alone when you do that. So we're walking underneath, and 2 security guards are looking at us kind of funny, and I'm like, just keep walking.
You look at the security guard and you go, what?
I did. What? I thought about it, but I also didn't want to get arrested.
Yes.
And so we get to this area where it looks like we can get up to the stadium, and I kind of noticed there's some commotion behind us, and the security guards are coming. And I'm just like, oh boy, go. And so we head up, and it was the tunnel that's the exit tunnel from the track. And we walk out onto the track. No. We're not in the stands. We are on the track at the finish line. They are lined up to go. And I no kidding. I looked at her, I'm like, we have 13 seconds. Security's coming from behind us.
Or less if they're breaking a world record.
Right. Yeah. We're on the track. And we're like, so we just scaled the wall up into the stands. But it's right where all the cameras are. Okay. Right? Because they're right at the finish line. And they're like, get out of the way, move. And we're weaving through, and security stopped at the end of the tunnel. They didn't come out of the track, the race is happening. And we're going up past these cameras, and I look up, there's security from above coming down. And I'm just like, we're done.
We're done here. Yeah.
So we get past the cameras, and I'm in front of Harry, and this lady stands up. I don't know who she is. And she goes, Harry, you guys made it. And I'm just like, what? And she comes up and she hugs me and she whispers in my ear, just go with it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And she gives Harry a hug, and I hear her say, you're wearing it now. And she turned around to the security and she goes, it's okay, they're with me. Wow. So it was the NBC on-field producer. And she had been asking Harry to wear a microphone. Okay. And he kept saying no. And she's like, you're wearing it now. And he did.
Oh, man.
She saved our bacon.
Oh, but my God.
I was sitting here trying to think about, how do I ask Don about his time in prison?
Yes.
Right?
I didn't even know. Yeah.
I told that story once. This kid goes, I don't believe you. And I'm like, I'm not that clever to make something like that up. That really actually happened. It was crazy. And so the next time we went down, we figured out how to get up the right way.
Yeah.
Stance. And then we didn't have that problem. But that was crazy.
Yeah. We have 13 seconds.
Where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Because you're not going to outrun those guys.
No.
No.
Oh my
I've tried.
gosh.
I've raced against Bria.
Goodness.
She beat
Shocker. Yeah.
So here's a question. So if somebody is watching this and they have aspirations of a similar trajectory, what would be your best advice in terms of telling somebody where to start?
That's a great question. So if there is something in your area that obviously that's going to give you something to aim for, right? For us, we're lucky we're here because Eugene is a huge track and field. So that worked out for me. But if you've got something in your area, learn the sport.
Give me an example of some things that they might be looking for.
So say there's a marathon that happens in your area. Okay. We have a lot of mountain bikers in the area. We have a lot of recreational runners in the area. So first of all, learn the sports you might be working with so that you know the areas, you know the demands on the body. So you can focus on those for them and help them with that kind of stuff. So that's going to be a lot of orthopedic studying, a lot of sports specific studying, that kind of stuff. So learn the sport you think you're going to be working with first, and then get your hands on as many people as you can that aren't elites at it, because that's where you're going to end up starting anyway.
Right.
Get a lot of feedback from them.
Start with some bums.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Weekend warriors.
Hey, you're not good at this. Get on my table.
Kathy and you.
Yeah.
You know, and then find continuing education classes that
Mhm.
spark your interest in that realm. So I obviously do a bit of sports massage therapy type continuing education classes, but I do more Rolfing and orthopedic stuff than that. And that really has a lot of crossover and how I interact with the body, what I've learned. So, and then, don't be shy about getting a hold. Find out what's going on in your area that's elite and call. You know, there are lots of therapists that I don't know who they are, but my phone rings. They're like, "Hey, I heard you were the guy putting together the team for Prefontaine. I'm super interested, and here's what I know, and here's what I've done, and be ready to work." Like the other thing is be willing to work, because there are days, the days can be long. Like you might work really hard for a long time. There was one day at a national championships where I scheduled myself to start at 1:30. Made the mistake of going in at like 9:30 to check on the team. There were athletes there that liked me, and so I started working on them. Literally didn't step away from my table until 7:30 that night.
Oh, snap.
Bring me food. But I stepped away to talk to Robin Pester, who you guys interviewed on another fantastic
We love
podcast.
We love us some Robin.
Oh, she is brilliant.
Super smart.
And I know you won't be insulted by this, but she is the smartest massage. I did it again. I don't know why. She's not a massage therapist.
No.
She's an athletic trainer, and she's also a physical therapist.
Yes.
And she knows fascial chains.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that whole system better than anybody I've ever met in the
Ever.
entire world. And I've met a lot of really good practitioners all around the world.
And she's also like super sweet, like very nice person.
Humble.
I'm terrified of her because she's so nice and so smart. But I'll
tell you, if your listeners listen to that podcast, they haven't yet, you got to put on your beanie and bring your pencil.
Yes.
She's throwing a lot at you.
Yes.
I go to her classes, and if I can take away 10% of what Robin's throwing at us, and you talked about watching me work, well, anytime I can watch Robin work at those events. So we've been working together at those events since 2004.
Yeah.
And she was my other mentor.
Yes.
So clear back then, she was teaching classes with Chris Wetstein, the guy that I had initially met. And I've been lucky to be in her world for that amount of time.
Too.
And she blows my mind every time.
Every time.
She's very, very brilliant.
Yeah. And I would add to that too, like find yourself a mentor, carry their bags. Clean their tables, clean their tools, soak up everything that they can tell you. You know, or they just brain dump into you. Because that is.
And if you're lucky enough, it's someone like Robin who like tells you hold that foot while I'm working on something else, and you actually can get hands on and feel at the same time what she's doing. Or whoever. So
you said if somebody, get started by getting around the right stuff, be ready to work.
Yes.
Sounds like you need to get a good mentor.
It's really helpful.
Yeah.
And somebody who might have an access into something.
Right.
Yeah.
But and don't be shy about bugging somebody.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to sometimes ask like, hey, would you consider me on the team? Kind of thing. But you got to.
Yeah.
You want to get there.
Yeah.
Networking's critical. And I don't care what it is that you do. If you want to get what you want, you have to learn to meet people, to show up, to not just show up and say, this is what I want, but it's to show up and say, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
what can I bring that value?
Absolutely. Because I've had people that show up and they're like, hey, I want this and this and this. And it's like, okay, cool. But you're really busy. And it's like, I don't have a bunch of time to break you off something. But people who show up and they're like, hey, this is what I have to offer. Like, how can I help? That's a totally different conversation.
Exactly.
So, and you show up willing to do whatever, even if sometimes it's nothing.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, especially at these events, like I'm carrying ice.
Yeah.
I'm emptying ice into pools. Like this is not glamorous.
No.
But it sure is fun.
Yeah. And it's really rewarding. When the athletes you work with do well, that's even when they don't. Like it's just it's a fun environment to experience.
Yeah.
It's motivating.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It sure
You
is.
kind of look at yourself when you're done, like, I should probably jog once.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? So you talked about Robin, who's maybe one of the best types of people that you can work with. What is like the worst type of professional that you've worked with? Because
this is great.
There's no shortage.
Because the other thing about this is the collaboration, right? Like this is
fun. Yeah.
It's so interesting to see when you're not quite at that level.
Right.
the collaboration is not good, right? People are territorial about their athlete.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't own that athlete.
Right.
Like, if you're doing your job right, you want to collaborate with anybody who's going to offer that athlete anything that's going to make them better, right, or help them out, and you check your ego at the door. Yeah. We brought a PT in one time when we were coordinating the team, and he shows up with his little doctor whatever name tag on, and we're like, come on, dude. Yeah. Like, you can leave that at the door. Yeah. Like, nobody here calls anybody doctor. No. Right. Like, and I recognize I'm a nard. Yes. So, but you're a doctor, but I call you Kathy. Right. Like, and even the team.
You call me Dr. Young.
That's no. I also bow down. I would bow down, but I can't strike. It's gonna hurt me. So my sit and reach is negative.
Ouch.
But yeah, I mean, the collaboration is super important to us, and it's really rewarding when you start to realize, like, if you treat each other as peers, like, so much more gets done. Yeah. So, but you got to be willing to step into that with that and leave. Yeah, check your ego. Check it. Check it. You're not there for you. Bring your best. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Be excited to have your best there, but like, you don't need the pat on the back there.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, because you were talking about like continuing education and stuff like that, and you can tell like some of the people who haven't really done anything, because those are the ones who brag the most about the stuff. Yes. But I think that when people get an opportunity to do those things, they typically are approaching it with a lot of gratitude. Yeah. And it's because it's an awesome opportunity, and so it just kind of makes me laugh sometimes. I'll go and I'll listen to somebody and they get up and they're like, well, I did this and this and this, and here's what I do, and here's why this person's stupid, and this person like, oh, okay.
Okay, I see your game.
So excuse me, does this actually mean that you haven't done anything?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it seems like you haven't done anything. So
I was getting a session. I don't want to give a lot of details about where or who, but the person that was working on me works for another massage therapist. And she was telling me how he had been to the Olympic trials. And I was like, oh, cool, when? She tells me, and I'm like, I coordinated that team.
Negative.
Pretty sure he wasn't there.
He was not there at all.
Not invite him.
Gosh, and that totally happens. That totally happens. Yeah.
So, but maybe he was there in a personal massage capacity.
Or in the stands.
He might have been in the stands, but she was implying that he worked on the athletes. Huh.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's the same thing with like the OSU stuff. It's like we've, since I've been there, there's one other chiropractor that worked there just briefly, like is for a couple months. And so sometimes like I'll see people advertise, like there's one advertisement in particular that features a now pro athlete and talks about like, oh yeah, this is the chiropractic clinic that I go to and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, nah, that's not true, because that guy does not like to be adjusted. Because he's like, it creeps him out and everything. Is like, wait a minute. So
so bring integrity.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
Bring integrity. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's awesome that you're there. It's important to like my favorite people at those events are not the athletes, they're my colleagues.
Yes.
Right. They really is that's the case. When I was first starting out, I was like in awe of these people.
Right.
This guy's a world record holder or whatever. But now I couldn't like I wish they weren't there so I could just hang out with my friends.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much I mean, even as busy as you get, it's kind of weird because it's like it comes in spurts, right? Where it's like there's lag time in between. It's just like okay, we're working different events. But it is really cool to get to like pick up some other people's kung fu too.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do that?
Yeah. We learned so much of those. That's probably better than continuing ed we take. And we all expect to collaborate.
And so we've talked a lot about the Summer Olympics, and I wanted to ask, you mentioned earlier today that you've worked with bobsledders?
I have.
Yeah. I need to hear about that.
Yeah. So there was a track athlete named Lolo Jones who was a hurdler. And her agent, and she got a hold of me when she was, so she is an Olympic bobsled athlete as well. And she is a World Cup champion in bobsled. And so before the 2022 Olympics, she was doing World Cup, and they called and said, can you go? Can you travel with Lolo and with her pilot, whose name is Kaylee Humphreys, Kaylee Armbruster Humphreys now. She's got married and since had a baby. So I traveled World Cup with the two of them, but also some skeleton athletes. And I wasn't allowed to work on other bobsled athletes.
Skeleton is absolutely insane.
It's on my bucket list, though.
Is it really?
No.
Okay,
but
like
get this,
one of my least favorite athletes to work with is MMA because it's like, okay, I'm going to work on you and then you're going to go out there.
Yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get
That's kind of what I think about skeleton. Like if you work with a skeleton athlete, it's like, okay, I'm going to work on you and then you're just going to go commit suicide on ice.
But I've heard there's a place in Whistler that lets you start like halfway down the track. You don't get to run,
Okay.
right? So you get on the little, and they give you
they just give you a
you're
gentle
probably going 35 maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, do that.
It looked, I loved it. I loved being around it. It was so cool. But bobsled is something else. So I worked with women with that, right? I didn't work with the men's team at all. But so they have monobob and 2-person.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that's it.
Okay.
So I'm used to working with track athletes primarily. I've worked with professional soccer athletes and other stuff too, but like I'm there to work now with bobsledders. And so, but I'm thinking like, these are track athletes because they running start, jump in, drive down.
You sprint and then sit down.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's your
with
job.
the track athlete, one of the most important things when you get to an elite level is rest. Like when I was traveling with Ashton Breed, that was actually number one on the workout list. Rest, recover, that matters. And so that's my mindset.
Yeah.
I get there and I'm thinking, okay, so these athletes are going to go and they go do their training like a track athlete because they're training for sprinting.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, cool, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to work on them.
Were you like cool or were you like cool runnings? I'm going to do that.
No, there was some Jamaicans there.
Okay. No.
So I'm doing a little pre-workout work on them and then they do their thing and I'm figuring, okay, I'm going to do the post-workout thing and then we're going to go and get off our feet and rest. Nope. When you're done, you go back to the garage and you are a mechanic for about 40 hours a week with really heavy equipment.
So the athletes are doing
this. So get this, and this is the part that frustrated me. Men have 4-person and 2-person bobsled.
Okay.
Right. So if you think about the size of the team, there are more men.
Yeah.
On a men's team than there are women on a women's team.
Right.
So usually you'll have your brake person, some of your push athletes, your pilot, and maybe a spare. And so they have 5 or 6 athletes to work on their sled. The women have 3 or 4. Right. So there is more work for the women to do.
Of course.
And it is crazy the amount of work and the technical work that has to be done on that bobsled.
You're kidding.
There was one time a coach put a sticker on Kaylee's bobsled without telling her. She threw a fit. It was like a little couple ounce sticker.
Yeah.
She's like, you just threw the weight off. Like I've been working on that all week. And like now I have to like recalibrate the whole thing. Whoa. And the runners underneath.
Yeah.
A set of runners takes about at least 2 hours to prep for going down the hill.
At least sharpening,
smoothing out, right? Like, and they're different widths, and they handle different kind of conditions on the ice and whatever. But they have to be perfect. And you go for practice day for 2-person, so you're going to do 3 runs down the hill. You might use a couple different sets of runners to get the feel. Okay. Now you just created 4 to 6 hours of work to get those ready for race day. That's practice on 2-person.
Wow.
Next day you're going to go practice on monobob. And do the same thing.
And then you
got to have them ready for race day. So you got to buff all those out, plus make sure the sled's all right. All the weight inside of it is calibrated right for your brakeman behind you. And so there's just all of this work in the garage. And then when you're done with the work, you got to pick up the bobsled, which is 400 pounds, load it in the truck, drive it up the hill, unload it out of the truck onto the platform where you stage, take it off that staging platform on the track, race down the track, get it off the track, put it in the truck, drive back up the hill. And it's the athletes doing all of this
Why aren't
work.
there people to do this?
Do they have rules about it? They must have rules. They don't.
Because there's some countries that actually recognize like, oh, hey, we want our athlete to be like ready for this. And so they help a little bit. The coaches never helped.
What?
The coaches never helped.
Crazy.
So I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to learn how to do this. Because I'm here and I might as well. So I would carry their heavy tool bags and like they got to the point where they let me carry the bobsled, but like, and I was never carrying the runners. Because I watched one gal drop a set one time and it opened up on asphalt, and I was just like, oh,
she did it.
That was her. That was her. I'm not near that.
Send her home.
She might have got sent home.
Yeah, that's something a massage therapist would never do.
So much work, and so I'm just like used to having. So now I'm working on a track athlete, a mechanic, right, and people that are just plain tired.
Yes,
and trying and the track athletes are 20 pounds heavier when they're in bobsled than when they're on the track.
They need that weight
because they need the weight for momentum.
Wow.
So your training that you're used to in track done at a lighter weight is harder on your body because you're 20 pounds heavier.
Absolutely.
So it was just insane. It was not what I expected, and I quickly had to figure out like, okay, what do I do different?
Yeah.
If anything, and there were some things like I have to think about how to incorporate recovery without having time for recovery.
Yeah.
And then
nuts.
when you're done racing, you load all your stuff up and you drive to your next track to be ready for practice runs.
That's incredible.
2 days later, and the athletes are the ones driving everything.
Insane.
Wow.
It was
Well,
quite an experience.
And every run comes at a high price just because there is so much with getting it back up the hill, right? So,
right.
Oh man. So,
wow.
What's maybe the biggest misunderstanding that people have about what you do?
Well, okay, this is great. I'm glad you asked that because all the time I get in my clinic here in town, like, oh, you must hate working on me, right? Because I'm not an elite athlete. Except to me, everybody's an athlete.
Yes.
Everybody has personal performance goals. Like everybody wants to move. And so the biggest misconception is that you're different than the elite athletes, that you're not. Your goals might be different. Your goal might not be a gold medal. But you still want to perform the best that you can. And so my thought process about you is that I'm treating you as if that's the same thing.
Man, where were you 2 weeks ago when Alston was on here trying to tell me that I'm not an athlete? Man. You know what?
I don't know how they can come up with
that. When he gets back on this show, we're gonna sneak in the door. I'm gonna be like, well, Don Butzner here has something else to tell you.
I know. I've been around athletes.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. So
yeah. No, I think that's it. I think that a lot of, and some people are afraid to call me. Like they
like,
won't.
Oh, that guy won't
they
take
won't
me.
me.
Yeah.
I'm nobody, but you are.
Yeah.
It's all the
But
same.
as an aside, the first time I met you and they introduced me to you and said, oh, hey, Don, this is Kathy. She's a PT in Corvallis, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I don't have any room for your patients. Because he is booked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had people on my wait list for literally years.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's not that he doesn't want to treat you.
No.
He just
I
physically
don't
has the time.
It's a good problem to have.
Stop sleeping.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But I love I have a very, very loyal client base.
Yeah.
Well, and you become a part of somebody's process.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You do.
Yeah. And they count on it.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be part of it.
Yeah.
And I consider them friends.
Yeah.
That's another thing I would say to somebody who's coming into the business. Lots of places tell you, don't make relationships, don't talk to your clients. Well,
yeah.
Like that is a load of crap.
Yep.
Like
don't kiss them.
No.
But
unless they're your wife.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Or whoever.
Yes.
But I am friends with pretty much all of my clients.
Yeah.
And I know about their families, and I don't have a degree in therapy other than massage therapy, but I am like the hairdresser. I hear and
the hair
it's a place. It's a hair place.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're getting rubbed when you're naked. So you're telling me everything.
Yes. Yeah. People get on that table and they just let it out. Yeah.
They do. But it's helpful.
Yeah. It's an honor. Actually.
So, and I love working with them.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky to have the people in my life that I have.
Yeah. All right, I have to take a quick couple minutes to talk about college or high school basketball.
Do it. Do it.
I had no idea you were a high school basketball coach.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, no, because I helped coach the Corvallis girls.
I'm well aware.
Oh man, I love it. I love it so much.
So it was. I started in boys soccer. At South Albany High School. Did 4 seasons there. Went off to school. Came back. Coached girls soccer. Thought it was going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
It is not.
No.
No.
My coaching boys and girls is so
no, but I figured it's
so
the same
different.
game. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I love this story if we have time.
Yeah.
There was a gal on the team the first year I was coaching girls varsity whose older brother played for me back when I was coaching boys.
Okay.
So she would come to like summer pickup stuff and like kick around. So I already knew Nicole.
Yeah.
And there was one day early in the season, first year I'm coaching varsity, that she made this pass. I was like, what are you doing? Not what she should have done. And I yelled, Nicole, what are you doing? Like, oh. And she stops playing, right? The game's going on around her, and she's just looking at me. And she starts walking over to me. I'm like, what the hell is she doing? Like, the game's going on. I'm like, and she goes over there, and she gets to me, and she goes, Coach, I know I screwed up right there. I was right there when it happened. She goes, I don't need you to tell me I screwed up. I need you to tell me how to fix it.
Yes.
I'm so proud of her for that. That changed my coaching style for everything after that.
I would have been like, girl, get back out there on the field.
Yep.
That's how you fix it.
I got it.
Get back out there.
Next time, pass over there.
Yes.
But you can show boys the video of them screwing up, and they're still not going to believe you.
No.
Yeah.
Girls, for me, would do anything I asked if I had justification for it.
Yes.
All you have to do is empower them.
Yes.
And give them the game, and they work so hard. I love that.
Yes.
And they stole my heart.
Yeah.
Like those kids,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
Way more than massage, and I love what I do with
Right.
massage. But
Right.
those kids, man,
Yeah.
they are awesome to do.
Best part of my day.
Yeah, and I was the varsity. So basketball,
Yeah.
I played in high school.
Okay.
Despite my dinky size.
Somebody's gotta be point guard.
Yeah,
there we
I
go.
was a bench warmer,
Okay.
and I worked hard in practice.
Okay.
So
There you go.
Good.
I contributed a
Good
little, just
teammate.
not
Scout team.
Yeah.
scout team. Exactly.
Yes.
But they hired a new coach for the girls
Mhm.
program who was a teammate of mine back in the day.
Okay.
Most of my soccer girls played basketball. We had
Okay.
really first season ever that South Albany High School soccer, boys or girls, made state playoffs.
Wow.
And so these are good athletes.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you know this game. Come help me coach. Because, soccer is just basketball. in
Right.
class.
It is.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can, some of the same concepts. And so I ended up being the varsity assistant and
Mhm.
ultimately like coaching the freshmen for him and whatever.
Mhm.
So 4 seasons with basketball. And
Nice.
that was my favorite sport growing up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I just loved it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
an honor. It's a privilege. I think I look at coaching as a privilege,
Totally.
right? That you get to be a part of these kids' high school careers. Because high school is a special time.
Oh, totally.
And so you get to be part just that little piece of their story.
And those sports seasons for them, those are real memories.
They
Like,
are
they carry
memories.
those forever.
Yes.
So
they
it's
really
fun to be
do.
part of.
Yeah. You sent me a picture of a
Did.
of a team that
I
I
did.
coached, and
Like-
man, it's the first thing that happened whenever you sent that picture is I looked at it and I was like, oh yes, I remember that team. But then I'm going through, I'm looking at every single one of those
Mhm.
girls, and I was like, okay, that one's a lawyer, this one's a rocket scientist, this one's a computer scientist,
Yeah.
this one owns a house now,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Wow.
it's amazing
Mhm.
to be able to be involved in that. And I think it, for me, it makes me a better healthcare provider too. That coaching experience and getting to kind of because you get to see people at low moments, you get to
Oh, yeah.
help people through
Mhm.
failure. It's so much easier to coach people that are winning than
Mhm.
people that are
Right.
that are losing, right? Because
Right.
you gotta make the losing worth something,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just a great crossover. So I totally believe you when you're like, yeah, it's a big heart thing.
Yep.
So
Yes.
mhm.
It is.
Well, do you know what I love? I love playing games. You want to play a game?
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to
If you've
this.
been looking forward to this, you know what? I actually think you're going to do really well.
Okay,
in
we'll
this
see.
game, okay,
We'll see.
it's similar to games that we've done before. We just want to test your
Oh, yeah.
expertise. That's all.
Fair.
Yeah, we want to see if you can spot real life massage techniques versus techniques that maybe aren't so.
This is
real
awesome
life.
because there are so many people that create something that is already
Oh,
created and
gosh.
call it
Yeah,
their
yeah.
own thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
doing dino massage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, come to my continuing education weekend.
Right.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
Manual release technique.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to call it active because you don't want to pay the bill.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's some of those that you go to and it's just like, can I just leave? Like,
I've
would anybody
done that a
notice if
few
I just leave?
times
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah,
just-
you're like,
At conventions where there's other
Yes.
classes, I've gone up and I said, I'm not sticking in this class. Let
Yeah.
me go to
Yeah.
another one. It's
Mhm.
full.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
you're not
Cool.
taking my money anymore.
Yeah. Cool. I'm
Yeah.
going to go to the car wash or something and watch
Yeah.
cars get washed.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's like, that's more valuable.
Because those claws rub.
Golly. Yeah.
I might learn more there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's a better
Yeah.
technique.
Look at the physics on that.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for the first
All
one?
right, let's go for this.
Okay. Cranial tide compression.
Cranial tie.
And let me know if, like, you can ask questions about the techniques too.
Well, certainly cranial sacral is a big one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good one. But cranial tide.
Cranial tide
So they talk about
compression.
cranial sacral flow
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
compression. I'm going to say no to that one.
That is a fake one.
Yeah,
Very good.
spotted
sir.
it.
Very good. Okay, what about Madero therapy?
Madero.
Mm-hmm.
I
Do
don't
you
know what that would
Do
be.
you need a description?
Yes, let's go.
All right. It's massage using specially shaped wooden tools to apply pressure and sculpt tissues. Madero
So we
therapy.
called that instrument assisted soft tissue manipulation,
Mhm,
and you can
mhm.
use all sorts of things.
Mhm.
Spoons work great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Like you talked about gua sha a little
Yeah, I
earlier.
did.
Yeah, same type of thing.
and
Yeah.
Same type of thing.
Yeah, but this is specifically Madero
Madero.
therapy.
I wouldn't doubt if that was a real thing and somebody's just decided to use their name for it. So I'm going to say, yeah, somebody's calling that a real thing.
It's 2 for 2.
Yes.
Very good. Very
Is
good.
it Somebody named Madero.
I have no
Or
idea.
maybe it's the
I have no
wood,
idea. It
special
might be.
wood
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, let's do this one. Myoneural scar dissolution protocol. It's MSDP. Have you heard of that one?
So all of these things are like things. Like
Yeah.
we do a lot of scar tissue work
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
myotherapy work,
Mhm.
and you
Yes.
could probably put any.
It's a trademarked MSDP.
Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't doubt it, because so many ridiculous things are trademarked that aren't a thing you should trademark. Like
Mhm.
you didn't invent this. I did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that one's true too.
That one is actually fake.
The
Yeah.
dissolution should have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really
that's-
aren't dissolving.
That's just some
I
word
could see
word
somebody
salad
making that
there.
up, though.
Well, I
Yeah.
try to
this is,
sell it.
I don't know if we have time for this,
Yeah.
but I'm also certified in lipomassage, which is
Oh.
they call it a body contouring.
Yeah.
And I looked into this because I was really irritated when I first saw it. Like, you cannot dissolve fat.
Right.
Yeah.
You are not going to get rid of fat
Right,
on people.
right.
And so I'm like just dead set to and
Uh-huh.
and I went so far as to get in the class.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's it. And when I got there, I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, this dude's just doing Rolfing.
Yeah.
For the lymphatic system.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's just called it this because
Oh.
you can
Yeah.
Huh.
kind of get rid of the appearance of cellulite
Appearance.
for a
Yeah.
while or whatever.
Yeah.
But I
Interesting.
called the creator. I'm like, bro, this is just Rolfing.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's specifically for like getting the lymphatics. He's like, that's exactly what it was.
He's
He used to
like-
work at the U.S.
he's-
gymnastics team. He's like, but I can market it as lipomassage and make a lot more money.
Yeah. He's like, did you pay for the class?
And
you
I'm
said,
like-
yeah.
And he's
He
like,
said, perfect.
bingo. Yep.
Perfect.
So, and I love it.
You're
because
welcome.
It really can be helpful for people
Yeah.
medically.
Wow. Okay.
And so I don't do it for cellulite thing,
Right.
and I don't
Right.
do it because I don't have time because it's multiple sessions.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you,
yeah,
I had a massage therapist that worked for me that did that, the body contouring.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and she came in. This was very early in my career. I think she was maybe like the third or fourth massage therapist I ever worked with. But her name was Yulia, and she was from Russia. And she came in, and she had a very thick accent. She's like, "I'm looking for a massage job," and I was like, "Nah, I can't understand what you're saying, and so we can't work together." And so she was like, "Please, please," and I was like, "No." And then she goes, "Well, how about if I give you a sample massage and you could just see what I do?" And I was like, "I could use a massage."
Sure,
So
I can
yeah,
see
I'll
that
get a
now.
massage and then I'll tell her no. So she gave me this massage and it was insane. Like high energy, fast paced massage the whole time. And I was like, she started and I was like, there's no way she can keep this up for an
She did,
hour.
didn't she?
She did it
Yeah.
for an hour.
Wow.
And she did it for an hour, 5 times a day, every
the nice
single
thing
day.
about lipomassage sessions
Yeah.
is they're like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't do 5 of them a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And but it was great. She massaged her way into a job.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care if I can't understand a single word you're saying
You don't
the whole
have
time.
to. If she's
because
rubbing you right.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And now, like, I can't remember what she does. I think she's a nutritionist, which is like, Yulia, get back in the game. All right, let's do 2 more here. Okay. Elephant massage.
Well, I'm assuming that means just, so yes, because you can either massage elephants, because there is a lot of like animal massage in
Okay.
this world.
Not
And
not what we're talking about here,
Okay.
but
people actually have elephants like step on them and do massage.
Oh,
It's a thing.
that
my
is correct.
gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in
Sounds
Thailand.
Yes.
Very
The elephants are
dangerous.
trained.
Yeah,
Just
they
put a
don't-
little bit of
No.
pressure.
Just till you feel a couple of chiropractic crunches.
Yeah, yeah. And then that elephant sneezes or farts
Right.
and it's like, oh no. No.
And then they see you to get fixed.
No,
Put it back
Jumbo,
where it
no.
Oh my
Yep, that is
All
a
right.
crazy thing.
Let's do one more. Neuropolar reflex alignment.
Man, he's putting together all these things that
I
are
know.
things, but they're
You know,
not.
these words all.
I'm saying no to that one. It's
That
a
is-
combination of
Yeah,
things.
you're
but
right.
it's not.
You're right.
Okay.
It's definitely
Did it.
not a thing. I couldn't even say it.
Right.
So
Well,
no.
there's a lot of them that are real that you also can't say.
Yeah, well, that's true,
They're-
Collie.
yeah.
Yeah, well, sir, you are
Crushed
an
it.
expert. You
Oh,
are an
thanks.
expert,
Yeah.
bona fide in the game.
This was super fun.
You are an
Yeah.
expert.
This
yeah,
is-
so.
this
I really
is so
enjoy you
fun.
guys' podcast,
Yeah.
so I'm glad I got to be on it.
Oh,
Thanks.
man.
We enjoyed having you
Again,
on.
I still think we could get a couple more hours with Don. here.
Mhm. Yeah,
there's
totally.
lots left to talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and
We
you
can
were
do it again.
you were a high value target. Like when we started this a year ago, we listed out, okay, who are some of the people that we could have and everything. And on purpose, there were some people who were like, let's wait until we have a better viewership. And you were one of those people.
Yes.
So so is a real honor having you on the show.
Keenan's good too. Right?
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until it got to the part about drinking urine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I was like, nah, I'm gonna quit being a podcaster. No, we love Keenan.
Yeah.
No, and that was a great episode.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are gonna watch this one. A lot of value to it. So I know that you're not taking like clients or anything like that, but do you do like any sort of social media, or do you do any sort of training or anything like that? You're just keeping it all a secret, aren't you? Yeah,
I do have a couple social media pages that are not massage oriented.
Okay.
Really. So, but
anything you want to promote?
Well, go see you guys.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Because you have great massage therapists on your show.
Yeah.
Actually, if people are needing something, you can probably get them fairly quickly. And that's another problem people run into.
Actually, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? The people call me, it's
yeah.
For years. But you know, I do like to talk to people who are interested in this career and just kind of want advice. I've met people that way. I did teach a little bit at the massage school that was in Corvallis for a couple of years.
Oh yeah, back in the Heart of the Valley massage.
Heart of the Valley massage,
That's right.
for them. And people are asking me quite frequently to be like teach with them, but I can't teach people what I feel.
Right.
It's so interesting because what I feel is not like that wasn't ever taught. Right. That was just just I've learned it. I can tell fascial restrictions probably better than a lot of people.
I'm sure.
I don't know how to teach it.
If
I would love to be
know.
able to share that because I don't want to. We don't. People say Corvallis is like overrun with massage therapists. We don't have enough. So
No.
There's room.
Yeah.
People. I love it when new people come to town.
I would love to say I'm hiring massage therapists, and so if you are a massage therapist and you're looking for a shot,
there's your guy.
Yeah, I could probably take like 2 more.
Yeah, I'm sure you
like
can.
that. Yeah.
And as soon as the word gets out that you've got room, you'll need more than that.
Yeah.
You just need the treatment space.
Yeah. And if you speak Russian, it's a real plus.
Yeah. Especially if you can work hard for an hour. Times 5.
All right, Kathy, take homes.
Yes. One, Don almost got arrested at the Olympics. But no, my favorite part is that high school sports stole your heart. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, and mine is going to be actually kind of an admission because you've been doing this a very long time, and I got to admit, when I came here and I started working, I was intimidated by you. Like, yeah, you have such a great reputation, and so it's really, really been a pleasure to be able to kind of sit down and discuss this stuff with you. I got a lot of respect and admiration for you and what you do and what you've done. I think one thing that we didn't really talk about, but is really kind of interesting, is the world is not as easy for male massage therapists. It's
that could be a whole other podcast.
True.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing,
Very
and so and some of that's with good reason,
Yeah.
but
some of it is earned.
some of it is earned.
Some of it is.
But I think that you are a fantastic role model for anybody who wants to do it, and so thank you very much for taking the time to be with us.
Yeah,
So,
and if anybody's curious that way, reach out because I'm happy to talk to them.
yeah,
Love
sweet.
that. Love that.
And I think there's just one more important item of business to get to, and that's there's no I in pitch.